Shalom to all my brothers and sisters worldwide. Noah's Ark, a story in the Torah, probably one of the most unbelievable stories. And even among believers in the Torah, of all faiths, a lot of us just say, you know what? There may not be evidence for it, but I believe it on faith. Can we trust that the Torah is true? Is there evidence that we can look at? Yes, there is. This is the remnant of the Ark of Noah, exactly where the Torah mentions that the Ark landed, in the mountains of Ararat, which is located in Turkey. Now, if you do your investigation, you'll find that this is absolutely factual. The Ark is sitting in the mountains of Ararat, and this is what it looks like, actually. I'm going to play a couple portions from a documentary, which I will link the entire presentation below in the description. I hope you'll check it out if it's of interest to you. The Torah is reliable, and there is evidence out there. I hope you enjoy.
Now, the formation that we have, as it's been surveyed both from aerial photographs and on the ground, it's been measured both ways, is 150 meters long, or almost 500 feet. If you take that long Egyptian cubit, assuming Moses is the author of the account, or the transmitter of the account, and apply that standard of measurement, it is interesting that this formation, either in the photographs or on the ground, has measured to essentially what would be 300 cubits long. Now, that's a remarkable correspondence. It's not 500 cubits, it's not 150 cubits, it just happens to be 300 cubits long. And the biblical story just happens to record the length of the ark as 300 cubits long. One further suggestion about the width of the formation. If you take the biblical measurements and add them up, you come out to a figure relatively close to the width of the formation in this way. The height of the ark was 30 cubits, the width of the ark was 50 cubits, and the height of the ark was another 30 cubits. Now, if you add that up as the distance around the hull of the ark, you get 110 cubits. The width of the formation, as measured on the ground, is 150 feet. Now, just as a rough figure, 100 cubits would be 150 feet. So it's relatively close. It's not precise and not exact, but it's relatively close, even figuring it that way.
The results are staggering. Massive keelsons, deck timbers, open chambers, and other nautical configurations appear before their eyes, telling the story of what specialists believe to be the remains of an enormous, ancient, man-made ship.
Basically, the radar scans show the same thing that the metal detector scans did, only with more detail. They show there's a pattern. They show there's a pattern of linear lines, there's a pattern of cross lines, and there's a pattern of even distribution to these lines in both directions. Now, that's precisely what you would expect out of the remains of a ship-type object.
Actually looked like. This is the best estimate of what Noah's Ark looked like. Now, the deck portion of the boat shows up very clearly on the radar scans, and we have reproduced that here in the deck portion of the model. Now, the boat itself is very unique internally as well as externally, and in this end we find the bracing to hold the hull out and to maintain its strength in a stormy sea. As you look up the boat here, you find that there's many chambers in here, which no doubt were the areas that the animals were kept in. Up near the front, we have a ramp system which allowed the animals and the people that occupied the boat to move from one level of the boat to the other, and this, of course, begins at the door.
We've gone about as far as we can go in surface survey work and even scanning work. There are other types of scans that could be done. I don't know that it would be that helpful, really, to get more scans. What we really need now is excavation. But I would say that each one of these positive steps does point directly identifying this formation as containing remains of Noah's Ark, But the final proof of the pudding ultimately must come from excavation.
We're delighted with the results, and at this point in time, personally, I can look anybody in the eye and say that this boat-shaped formation in eastern Turkey is actually the remains of Noah's Ark.
I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. I hope you'll check out the entire documentary that I'll put in the description. Thank you so much, everyone. Shalom, and I'll put another video about Mount Sinai. There's evidence for all the stories in the Torah, the major stories, and I'll be posting videos on such subjects. Shalom, everyone.